Back to the Premiership then this weekend, and some seasons it's not been that competitive at the foot of the table, but it certainly is this year for Worcester, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously looked at a lot of their games. You know, people will be aware there's been quite a lot of tight losses for them there, and you know, I quite like what they've done there. I look at the games, and there's a lot of what they do is good, well structured, good foundations. The team look like they know kind of what each other's supposed to be doing, and I think that's what makes them that side that is in every game they're playing. I see a lot of, we were very similar to that when we first came up, that if we didn't win a game, we were in the fight to the death, and that's a really, really important quality to have, and that makes it an awkward fixture. You know, I'm telling, you know, I don't mind saying I'm not really looking forward to this weekend, you know, because you know we've obviously done pretty well in the Premiership. Worcester, the team, have come up and are fighting very well, and you know the pressure's on us to go there and perform at our best and make sure we get something out of the game. So it's one of those fixtures where, you know, I know I'm going to be sat there on Sunday, and I'm just going to wonder what kind of mindset we're going to turn up in, because you know we've got to get things right. You know, it's not going to be a game where we think we can just turn up, go through the motions, and things will be okay. You know, Premiership rugby against good sides doesn't work like that. If we think just our system of attack, our system of defence will come over the top of them, it doesn't work like that. You know, it's players make systems work, and the intensity with how they play, and that's what we have to focus on. We have to focus on the intensity we can bring to the day, not just that going through the motions will be enough, because it won't be.
You're going to have such a brutal run of games. Do you address it differently?
Well, the first thing I wouldn't do is we would never describe it as brutal, because I mean, as far as that's the way I look at things. You know, I look at it as, well, there's two ways of looking at it. Like that, there's guys who are going to go, oh, this is going to be really, really tough, but other teams may sit and go, well, you know, actually, this is the opportunity for us. You know, we spent a lot of time in pre-season with a big focus on a lot of prehab, rehab, make sure recovery was right, talking about this being a different season, and that teams that could actually thrive through this 10-game block were actually going to be the teams who came strong in the Premiership, and that's what we focus on. We spent a lot of, I would say, we've probably spent 6 months almost preparing for this 10 weeks. Obviously, we were hoping we wouldn't have picked up some of the long-term injuries we have, but actually we wanted to get to this stage and be really excited about it and back ourselves with the team that comes through at the strongest. So at the moment, I'm really looking forward to this 10 weeks, because I think the attitude of the players has been fantastic. I think the way they've been prepared to get recovered and get ready for the next week has been really, really good. Probably the best I've ever seen from us. And so I'm actually excited to see what we can do as a team and as a squad over this block. There is some challenges there, but I think keeping our freshness and keeping our enjoyment factor going, and as I say, relishing one game coming after the other instead of there being a mixed match of games, is something that we should really look forward to. And we're going to approach it absolutely flat out. We're going to go out as hard as we can after every game. You know, we're going to challenge other teams to see if they can keep up with us.
And as you said, you've had the last few weeks, you've pretty much got 35 players chomping at the bit now, because you've rotated in the Champions Cup, and now you've got a really hungry group of players to go into this.
And I think that was ultimately the key. I think we didn't want to lose any momentum. We didn't want to stall and kind of have any dip with overplaying too many players or guys who hadn't played enough rugby. And you know, every one of the lads who went over to Bordeaux and played stood up. That's made some really difficult selection decisions, and but it's also given us some real confidence that those lads could come in and do a really good job for us. And I think that happened straight away in the Ospreys game. You know, you look at the performances of guys like Kai and Johnny Hill. You know, guys who'd played there the week before, Dave Lewis, who'd had that game time the week before. You know, Kelly Campagnaro. You know, all of a sudden, you know, he had his best game for us out there against the Ospreys. You know, you started to see some real, you know, genuine, you know, real quality come through from those lads with that bit of extra game time, that bit of extra experience, and that was fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted to see, and that's thickens us all the time. You know, you only really get a thick squad once guys can get out there and play and genuinely get on with it, and I think that's what we're starting to see with this group at the moment.